we're going to add in our new stitch in this beautiful olive colour, and this stitch is called the X stitch. Some people may call it the crisscross stitch. I have a little sample here from earlier. I've actually worked 4 rows in the copper of triple crochet, but you only will work 2 rows. Okay, so let's begin. Here is my sample from earlier. Pick up. Okay, so insert your hook into your loop. Again, it is a triple stitch row, but working the X stitch. So we will begin the row with a chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. Then turn your work. We are going to begin in our first stitch here with 1 triple stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through the last 2 loops. That's your first stitch done, which is 1 triple stitch. Now we're going to begin the X stitch. So here we are going to skip this stitch and we're going to work in the next stitch, which is here. So again, we're going to work a triple crochet but slightly differently. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through the last 2 loops. Now we're going to work a triple crochet into the skip stitch. So yarn over, go back to the stitch that we skipped, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, you should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and that's your first X stitch made. Now we're going to do this again, so skip the next stitch, we're going to work into the stitch after that skip stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through the last 2 loops. Now we're going to work into the stitch that you skipped. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. We're going to repeat that process again. So skip a stitch and then work in the next stitch. Yarn over, you can just see what I'm doing here, and then I'm going to work again into the skip stitch. And you can see that your crisscross stitches are forming there nicely. So follow this pattern to the end of your row. Feel free to pause the video at any time or rewind back to watch me do that again. Okay, so we are going to work 1 triple crochet stitch into your last stitch in your row. There we go. So now you have 1 complete row of X stitch. And now it's time to turn. So again, it's a triple row, so we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn your work, and we're going to work into the very first stitch. We're going to begin the second row with a triple stitch. And now we're going to begin our X stitch again. So again, skip the next stitch and then insert your hook into the stitch after. Again, working the triple stitch. And now insert your hook into the skip stitch. Again, we're going to miss a stitch, insert your hook into the next stitch, Still working the triple stitch every row. Insert your hook into the missed stitch. Continue this pattern until the end of the row. You can see these beautiful little X stitches forming. So I'm on my last X stitch of the row. And again, in your very last stitch, work 1 triple crochet. You will be working 4 rows. So here is one I made earlier. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of X stitch.